Hey, I'm back. Hey, this thing was kind of cool. I'm coming back and I'm coming to talk about black women and abuse. And I'm just talking about abuse in general, emotional abuse, physical abuse, all sorts of, all sorts of abuse. But I'm I'm really becoming a tad bit disturbed in my own kind of psyche at black women's willingness to be abused, you know. And I'm not talking about, for young women, because lots of times as young women, we sometimes don't know what to do. But I'm talking about for women that actually should probably know better, you know. And, the willingness to be abused by anybody, and the willingness to sort of pass on abuse, that we pass it on to, even, we pass it on to each other. I mean, we'll take abuse like a champ, and stuff. But if somebody tries to love us or care about us, we're really suspicious. We're really freaked out about that. um, you know um, if somebody tries to compliment us, we're suspicious of the compliment. We're questioning it. Now, if somebody called us a bad name, called us the B word, or called us fat or whatever, boy, we're so willing to take that. We're so willing to kind of believe the worst about ourselves and to pass on the worst. A few days ago, I did the blog about an article that came out in another blog, about a black man talking about black women being bad, and all this stuff. And personally, although I was just like whatever about it, I'm part of me is questioning why it even came up, why somebody would even pass that news on to black women in that sort of way, because really the letter was quite kind of abusive and emotionally abusive. Now, I know how to handle emotional abuse, which is usually, whatever. I'm like, whatever and stuff, especially from people that I could care less about. It's not really a big deal. I don't like to see it, but I know what it is and stuff. And particularly from men like who I thought this man was, who was a narcissist, and stuff. And I know narcissists because I was married to one for 9 years and I've studied it. So really with me, I know narcissists when I see them and when I hear them, and my spidey senses usually go off when people start narcissizing people and stuff. And so, with that, I just thought it was just sort of abusive. And then I just thought to myself, well, what is it about black women, that a lot of us are so willing to sort of take abuse and then to take it on into our spirits and then to agree with it and to regurgitate it, and to, we just kind of we agree with it, and then we regurgitate it, and then we lend support to it and stuff, particularly in the situation when it comes to interracial dating. I could have seen a black guy writing that letter and all, regarding when it came to BWE or whatever, or black women's empowerment or whatever. I could have saw all hell break loose if a black man would have wrote that letter. I mean, I could have saw all hell just breaking loose. And I thought to myself, well, what is this desperation to want white men to acknowledge us so much that we're willing to take something like that? Now, listen, I know about what it means. Like I say, I know what it means to be a narcissist. And one of the things that signal narcissists are they like to make people feel special. The person that they're narcissizing, they love to make people feel special. So if a man is complimenting you while he is berating someone who looks just like you or who's just like you probably have a narcissist on your hands, and stuff. And really, the reason narcissists do this is because most narcissist men like codependent women, and codependent women always want to feel special. They always want to feel loved by everybody all the time. And so if you distinguish something about them that's special from the other set of women, then they feel really special and they feel really good about themselves and stuff. And they take it on and they're really happy and stuff, but and I'm telling you, narcissists do it all the time. They know how to do it. They know exactly what they're doing and stuff. So when the person says, well, I don't like fat black women. I don't like fat black women. And you find somebody else who's probably codependent, who may also not like these people or not like this person or want this person's approval. They may take on the, oh yeah, I think you're right sort of scenario and stuff, and then they or decide, oh yeah, I think you're right and stuff, and then they decide maybe pass it on. Now, I can't be sure whether or not stuff like this happens, but I know a narcissist when I see one, okay, and stuff, and I know the codependents when I see them too. um, you know, uh, but the thought that, when somebody tells you something like that, and it's such a harsh, it was such a harsh sort of thought. It was so harsh. It was such a harsh sort of abusive way to say it. And then you're somehow agreeing with the thought and whatever. Then, the thing is, there may be something going on with you. I don't want to pass on abuse to you guys. I don't want to. There's lots of stuff that I don't talk about. Lots of stuff I don't. When black men are bashing black women, I don't pass that on. Why would I pass that on to you? People, tell you the truth, you probably already know it. Why would I pass that on to you? Now I may talk about stuff in another context to tell another more important lesson than this sort of fluffy crap that people have on and stuff, a deeper lesson to probably get from the a situation and stuff. But I don't pass on the bad news. So if I'm not passing on bad news when it comes to black men, why would I pass on bad news? Why would I pass on something that is bad for regarding white men? So there's a letter out there regarding a woman and stuff, and I know you all have seen it. It's and I don't know if it's real or not. It's so out of the box and so crazy. I'm just thinking this can't be real. And it's talking about a black woman married to a white man and her husband calling her racial slurs in the bedroom. And I'm just like, okay, really weird. And she's really, she's depends on him and likes his money and whatever, and he's really, rich or whatever, and she doesn't know whether or not she should take it. And then she was saying, it was in the letter something about, well, he said that to his old girlfriend, and something about, like, and I'm telling you, the gist of the letter sounds fake and crazy. But what I don't think is fake and what I don't think is crazy is that there are probably black women out there taking that sort of abuse from white husbands, because a lot of us are so desperate to have anybody acknowledge that we might be halfway beautiful and stuff, that some of us will just take anything, and stuff. And this guy comes along, he's halfway decent to you, or, maybe even, 1/3 decent to you and stuff, and you think it's the greatest thing in the whole, so I'll just sort of ignore his other stuff when he's being emotionally abusive or abusive about this sort of stuff, because, well, he's got a nice house or he's got a nice car, and I'm a black woman and I'm just such a burden and all this stuff. And I swear to God, as black women, we act like the biggest liability in the whole wide world. There are a lot of black women I know with a lot of issues. I know there are a lot of us that have a lot of issues from family, issues from past relationships, but not all of us have issues, and not all of us are defective. Okay. There are many of us who are wonderful women, would make wonderful girlfriends and make wonderful wives and stuff. So why do we act like somehow we are, when some man comes along, with some guy, black guy or white guy comes along and takes us, that he's just being so gracious to take us, and stuff. And we should really feel so lucky because he took us on. I don't feel lucky my husband took me on. he feels lucky because I'm his wife. And that's the way he should feel. He should feel really lucky that I'm his wife. Because listen, ladies, if you've forgotten, and I don't know where this message got lost in all the rest of the messages of, wow, black women, here's how screwed up you are. Don't nobody want you and stuff. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, if you don't jump through hoops of fire and twist yourself in the knots to be something else, then don't nobody want you. I don't know where the message got lost for black women. That, you know what? You're the prize. You're the prize, okay? You're the prize. When it comes to you finding a relationship with a wonderful man, you're the prize, not him, okay? That's what got us into the situation with black men. Why are we doing that same thing with white men? Okay? You know, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. You should not be bowing down to his whiteness. You should not be putting him up on a pedestal. His opinion is not the first and last opinion ever to be in life. It's not the one. It's not even some random guy's not opinion. It's not what matters to you most. The thing about the letter that I was talking about with the man calling the woman the racial slurs, you know what? In a relationship, if you don't feel loved and cherished and safe, then you need to get out of it, okay? Really, the letter didn't make much sense to me in the thought that why was there even a letter? All you needed to do was pack a bag and get up out of there. I mean, you know, it's not like you can't find a job and figure out how to be on your own and find somebody who actually loves you instead of some emotionally abusive jerk, you know, and stuff. But we take so much. We take way too much abuse. And when it comes to somebody really trying to love us, really trying to cherish us, we're so suspicious. We're so scared. We're running. We're ducking. We're dodging. We're trying to get out of the way. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to be intimate. We don't want to do nothing. We just want, you know, and I swear, you know, you call her fat, boy, she'd be, you know, yeah, you're, you know, and stuff. She'd be all on the bandwagon and stuff. She'd be all on the bandwagon. But as soon as you say something nice and stuff, it's like, yeah, they just can't believe it. Listen, this is not where you come in here and in fashion magazines and coming on blogs and all this stuff is not where you get your self-esteem and self-confidence. This is not it. Okay, this is not the place. I don't get my self-esteem and self-confidence from coming on here. Although I love coming on here and I love talking to you all, this is not where I get the essence of who I am and what I mean to people. Okay, I have a whole family, a wonderful husband, nice, you know, nice, wonderful in-laws. I have a wonderful family of my own that loves and cherishes me. And where I get my self-confidence and my self-esteem, where I get who I am, the essence of who I really am, my true authentic self is being with them, having them. I have good friends and stuff, having them, you know, having an actual real life. Okay, I don't go onto blogs asking people how to feel good about myself. I don't go onto blogs asking people how do I get a, you know, a many women, how do I get a white man and all that sort of stuff. That's not gonna do you any good. Who you need to be trying to get is you, figuring out who you are and loving yourself and building self-confidence in good relationships that honor your boundaries, that do not make you feel bad about yourself. You know what? Somebody said something the other day, and I don't know who it was. You know, I know there's a lot of stuff wrong with me. I do. I know there's a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to hang around people who are always reminding me of what's wrong with me. Okay, you know, I mean, I'm just going to give you that as a little just side. I'm not going anywhere so people can constantly remind me how defective I am. Okay, if you're anywhere, if you're in a relationship, if you're in a friendship, if you're at a job, if you're reading a blog, and that's all you are reminded of is what an awful, terrible person you are all the time, I suggest you step away from that negativity and go somewhere where there is positive reinforcement for you. I don't even understand people who think negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is not motivating. It's motivating for dogs, not for people, okay? You know, and stuff. So you need to go someplace where it's positive reinforcement and where you can gain good self-confidence about yourself and always be celebrated celebrated. Stop being tolerated. Stop letting people tell you everything about you is bad, and not even that everything about you is bad, but not only that everything about you is bad, but that it's hopeless. Unless you do this or buy my book or do whatever, it's hopeless. You're not hopeless. Nobody's hopeless. Okay, nobody's hopeless. That's why I dislike some of the stuff that I hear people say sometimes on Black Women's Blog. There is no such thing as a hopeless person. Everybody is redeemable. Does that mean everyone will be redeemed? No, but everybody has hope of being better and being different. Okay, my thought here is to come here and to help if you got some problems, you can get some help and you can solve those problems. Okay, I'm not the problem solver, but maybe I can send you to a place where you can get some help. Maybe I can send you to a place where you can solve some problems. Maybe I can give you some tips on how to solve them and everything. But my thing is not to run around here abusing Black women and making them feel no worse. We got enough crap going on without me coming here and abuse it. Now, people's attitudes and people's moral compasses and what people may do. There may be things I may not like about that, but I'm not saying I'm not liking you because you're a Black woman, or because, you're a Black woman with nappy hair, or you're a Black woman with straight hair, or you're a Black woman with big lips, or you're a Black woman with big hips, or you're a skinny Black woman, or you're a fat Black woman, or you're short, or you're tall, or you're dark, or you're light, or whatever. I'm not doing all that. That's not my thing. I'm not doing all that crap. Okay? Enough of that. It's enough of that. If you think something is wrong with the way you are, then you need to figure out some way to solve it. Okay, you need to go and do whatever it is that you want to do to figure out, if something is really bothering you or stuff, your health is not good and stuff, and you want to do something, then figure out. There's lots of places that'll tell you how to get an exercise regimen and a better diet and all that stuff. Nothing is, for me, on the personal level, nothing is so wrong with me that I can't figure out how to solve it. Okay, and I'm not down on myself. Yeah, there's lots of stuff I like to change about myself, but it's not that it's not beyond me changing. Okay, or it's not beyond me doing something else. Okay, and stuff. I want you to walk away from this blog knowing, when it comes to dating and when it comes to marriage, that you are the prize. You are the one that is to be prized, not the guy. You don't have to change all this stuff about yourself unless you want to change it. But don't change it worrying about no man. If the white man don't like fat women, that's okay. There's lots of white men who do. Trust and believe. I see lots of pictures of fat Black women, and I'm just saying it, and white dudes. Some of the dudes is fat, some of the dudes ain't fat, okay? But she looked real happy in that wedding dress while they're getting married or with their little baby or whatever. They look real happy and real pleased with themselves. So it's not like that's something that's impossible, okay? I see lots of pictures of skinny Black women and white men again. Hey, it don't matter. She may not be the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world, but he sure is looking at her like she is, and stuff. I see lots of different stuff in my own life every single day, and stuff. I see middle class, couples. I see, couples that are lower middle class. I see some couples who look like they, hey, they might be struggling trying to come up. I see rich couples that are, Black men, Black women, and non-Black men and stuff. I see that all the time. I see every variety. So the thought that you have to be this, and you have to check off this list and be this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I've said it before. That list is crap. Throw that list out. It is a lie. It is not the truth in real life. Okay, here, and once again, it's not like it's a ton of Black women that's dating across the color line. It's not. Okay? There are enough men in the world for you to find one that's going to love you if you love yourself. Stop taking abuse so willingly and blocking out anything that looks like love as suspicious, and stuff. Stop doing that. If you're doing it, and stuff, think about it when you're doing it. If somebody is complimenting you while they're bashing somebody else that looks that looks like you, or that, we have the same features, there's something about us, there's sameness about us, and that's not a compliment to you. Okay, that's not a compliment to you. He's a narcissist and he's looking for a codependent. Don't be the codependent that he finds, okay, to narcissize. Okay, that's the best warning that I can give you. Okay, so right now I'm gonna go. I gotta make dinner. My husband's out and about. He's been sick for the last couple of days. He is feeling much better. I'm so happy. I'm feeling much better. I hope everybody else is feeling much better. And I hope you're doing good, and stuff. So I'm going to come back in a couple of days. I'm going to talk about marriage. And I'm going to talk about being colorblind and why when people say that, it makes my eye twitch. Okay. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.